Hello my dear friends, once again welcome to my YouTube channel Spark. I hope you all are preparing well for your exam, and today we are going to discuss about one of the important topics which are coming under Unit 3, that is social group work, in which we have to discuss about the definition, characteristics, functions and group structure, classification of groups. Let us begin the session with a brief introduction on social group work. As you all know, social group work is one of the primary method of social work and which develops the ability of establishing constructive relationships in the individual. Constructive relationship means productive relationship among individuals through different group activities. And social group work helps person to enhance their social functioning through purposeful group experiences. This is because these group experiences are essential need of human being, and thereby an individual can cope more effectively with their personal, group or community problems. So, the social work with groups has played an important role in transforming the way we think about clients and as well as the helping process. And here the social work practice with group which builds on the important impact of groups on individuals and utilizes group process to accomplish individual and group goals. Here, with the help of group work, the individual utilizes the group process to accomplish individual and group goals. And the group worker enables the group to function in such a way that the group interaction through different program activities. And all these program activities are contributed to the development of individual and the achievement of their desired goals. Next, we can discuss about two important definitions on social group work. According to Trekker, the social group work is a method through which individuals in group in social agency settings are helped by a worker who guides their interaction in program activities, so that they may relate themselves to others and experience growth opportunities in accordance to their needs and capabilities. So, Trekker says that social group work is a method in which individuals are helped through groups in a social agency settings. Here, the role of a worker is to guide their interaction process, and the purpose of this group work is to provide experience and growth opportunities for each members of the group for their development in accordance with their needs and capabilities. And the next is definition by Professor Hamilton. According to him, social group work is a psychosocial process which is concerned no less than with developing leadership ability and cooperation than with building on interest of group for their social purposes. So, he is giving importance to both psychological and social aspects. That's why he says that social group work is a psychosocial process. Next is characteristics of social group work. As you all know, characteristics of group work is essential to work with a systematic plan which is having understanding, refilling and concentration. And here the group worker are viewed as a helping person. He or she is to help people by identifying his or her problem, skill, ability like that. And there are specific characteristics of group work which are distinct from those of other method of social work, which includes the group work is practiced by group itself based on humanitarian philosophy. Social group work gives aspiration to help each other and it provides more skill and information and develop human personality. These are the important characteristics of social group work. Now we can move to each characteristic in detail. The first one is the group work is practiced by group itself. As you all know, the development of individual changes and personality growth are happen with the help of group worker. So, the group itself has to practice and take steps by their own worth and dignity with the help of the group worker. And the next is based on humanitarian philosophy. It is true that the group work is based on humanitarian philosophy and a group get its inspiration from happiness, joy and prosperity of the members of that particular group within the community. So, a group must have a belongingness and a group philosophy. Next is, this group work gives aspiration to help each other. Because of living together, sharing problem and emotion to each other, they get an aspiration to help each other. So, the group help the individual when any one of them are in problem. The next is, the group work provides more skill and information. Here, after formation of the group by a worker, the group member get more information and skill. So, because of the belongingness and helping mind, the member can share their knowledge among themselves. So, they get more information about science, resources, techniques, etc. And the last one is, group work develops human personality. Here, after making a group, they are networking with other group, the workers and agency develop their personality. So, these are the important characteristics of social group work. Like, group work is practiced with group itself based on humanitarian philosophy. It gives aspiration to help each other. It provides more skill and information, and it develops human personality. So, now we can move to group structure. When a group comes together for the first time, the members begin to interact. And various differences between members begin to appear, like differences in status, influence, role, ability, and so on. And the pattern of relationship that is thus established is known as the group structure. And the group structure has been defined as the rules that define group norms, roles, and status. Here, the group structure defines the rules that define the group norms, roles, and status. And this group structure can create strong bonds, and these bonds can be long lasting and resistant to change. And understanding group structure allows us to understand behavior, values, mission, goals of that particular group. And this group structure governs us each day, like how we think, how we behave, how we socialize, like that. So simply we can say like, the group structure is the complex set of relations that organizes the group into an integrated whole. So, it is a complex set of relations that organizes the group into an interrelated whole, and the important determinants are norms, roles, inter-member relations, and communication, like that. So, now we can discuss about the determinants of group structure. So, first one is norm. As you all know, norms may relate to how people think, behave, or communicate with each other. And here group norms are rules or guidelines that reflect the expectations of how group members should act and interact. And they define like what behaviors are acceptable or not, good or not, right or not, or appropriate or not, like that. And some norms relate to how a group as a whole will act. Like norms can help a group function smoothly and face conflict without falling apart, like that. And the group norms may vary based on groups and issues important to the group. All groups have established norms and which is acceptable standard of behavior that are shared by the group members. So the norms may relate to how people think, behave, or communicate each other. The group norms are rules or guidelines that reflect the expectations of how group members should act and interact. So the next is role of an individual in a group. Here the roles specify the type of behaviors expected of individuals who occupy particular position within the group. So they should have an expected behaviors of individuals, those who occupy particular position within that group. And we can say like all the group members are actors and each one playing a role. By this term, we mean that a set of expected behavior patterns which are attributed to someone occupying a given position in a social unit. So each of the individual have a particular role to play. And the understanding of role behavior which would be dramatically simplified if each of us choose one role and played it out regularly and consistently. So as a member, we should have to interact with one another, and thereby our role related activities become patterned. And next important determinant of group structure is communication. The important feature of group structure is the patterning of information exchange and the way in which the group member communicate with each other. So the communication structure tends to become more complex and varied as group increase in size. So the communication structure may be vary, which would be depend upon the size of the group. And the nature of the communication structure also affect the group functioning, overall commitment and satisfaction with the membership in the group. So we have discussed about group structure. It has been defined as the rules that define group norms, roles and status. Or we can say it is a set of relations that organize the group into an integrated whole. That means they are relatively fixed, and the important determinants of group structure are norms, roles, inter-member relations and communication. So we discussed about norms, roles and the importance of communication among members. So now we can discuss about the function of group work. Here the group work mainly sees the situation and the need of all the individuals of that particular group and try to solve the problems of each individual. And a group fulfill the social desires and need of each individual in the group. So through this group work, a group fulfill the social desires as well as the individual's need in the group. And group workers take care of social agencies in many fields as education, religious and recreational field, etc. And social group work as a helping process with a dual purpose of both individual and group. And the function of the group work is always for the betterment of individual as well as for the growth of entire group. And the group worker plays a role of enabler and helping person by earning an effective group. So in the function of the social group work, it is focusing on both individual and growth. So with the help of group worker, the members see the situation and need of all individuals and try to solve the problem of each individual. And we can say like for every individual, the group is the main source of strength and which renders everybody with helping hand. It's about the functions of group work. So next we can discuss about the classification of groups and making of social groups. So what is group? A group refers to two or more people who share a common meaning and evaluation of themselves and come together to achieve a common goal. So in a group we can see two or more people and who have a common meaning and they evaluate themselves and they come together to achieve a common goal. Or we can say a group is a collection of people who interact with one another and accept rights and obligation as a member of that particular group and who share a common identity. So next is social group. Here there are two important definitions on social group through which we can understand what is social group. According to William Ogburn, when two or more individuals come together and influence one another, they may be called as social group. So William Ogburn says that when two or more individuals come together and influence each other, and they may be called as social group. And according to Mayer Nimkoff, a social group is a group of two or more persons who are in a state of interaction with one another. Mayer Nimkoff says that social group is a group of two or more persons and they are in a state of interaction with one another as termed as social group. So we can say a social group is a collectivity of two or more individuals who are in the state of interaction with one another. Here, the state of social interaction and inter-influence is the compulsory characteristics of social group work. So the important characteristics of social group work are social interaction and inter-influence among the members. For example, a family living in a home or group of employees working in the same organization, a group of classmates or a group of members of a meeting like that. So next we can discuss about the types of groups. As you all know, all of us are simultaneously members of various types of groups. We are members of family, members of friendship groups, members of work organization like that. So now we are going to discuss about some of the important classification on various types of groups. And according to the nature of social ties, there are two important groups like primary and secondary group. And according to the social identification, in groups, out groups, referent groups like that. And according to the organization, we can see formal and informal organization or formal or informal group. And according to the purpose, we can see treatment group and task group. So now we can discuss about primary group, which is based on social ties. The concept primary group is given by C.H. Cooley and which are characterized by personal, intimate and non-specified relationship between members. For example, family, a couple, etc. And we can say some of the important characteristics like there is a face-to-face interaction among members in the primary group and there are frequent interaction among its members and the relation among the members are too personal and intimate. And we can say there is sense of we feeling among the members and the members possess similar background attributes such as language, interest, culture, religion, etc. And we can say there is a physical proximity among the members. In the primary group, we can see a physical proximity among the members and these groups are similarly smaller in size. So next is secondary group. Here, the secondary group refers to formal or impersonal group in which there is little social intimacy or mutual understanding. For example, we can say like business organization, political parties, labor union, etc. Here, the group is formed by the relations secondary to the primary group. So, there is comparatively less face-to-face interaction among the members and we can say that the relation among the members are impersonal and secondary. So these relations are relatively less personal and less intimate and less intense while compared to primary group. And here the members have specific aims and interest to achieve their goals. And there is less physical proximity among members while compared to primary group. And this group are particularly larger in size. So next is in-group. In-group, out-group and reference group which are classified according to the social identification. So, in-groups are a group to which we directly belong. It is called our in-group. Or we can say like in in-group, there is a social category to which person feel they belong to and share a consciousness and awareness of kind. For example, if I am a player of cricket team, my cricket team is my in-group for me. And a geographical community is the in-group for its residents, like that. So the term in-group is used when an individual wants to identify himself with a group or show an association with his group. Some of the important characteristics of in-groups are mutual sympathy towards oneself, mutual cooperation, help and goodwill, and respect for mutual benefits and rights among members, and sentiment of solidarity and we-feeling among members, and feeling of tolerance, compassion and generosity and preferential behavior with their members. So we can say like the members of in-group have a sense of we-feeling and belongingness towards their in-group. So next we can move to out-group. Here a group to which we do not belong, which is called out-group. It can be any group of others like not ours. For example, if I am a student of psychology, the students of psychology are in the in-group for me. But the students of any other discipline like other than psychology are an out-group for me. So the term out-group is used to distinguish one's identity from that of others or to compare one's identity to that of others. So simply we can say like an out-group is a group or category to which people feel they do not belong. So we treat most members of out-group as others and we have a feeling of indifference, avoidance, disgust, competition, suspicion or so on towards others. So next we can discuss about reference group. This group is also classified according to the social identity. Mustafa Sharif in the year 1953 defined reference group as those group which the individual relate himself as a part or to which he aspired to relate himself psychologically. Or we can say like individual almost universally have a bond toward what are known as reference groups. Here, these are groups to which individual conceptually relates himself or herself and form which she or he adopts goals and values as a part of his or her self-identity. The term reference group, which was coined by Herbert Hyman. So it's very important. The term reference group was coined by Herbert Hyman. So the reference group which is used as a basis for comparison and evaluation. So this group may or may not be membership group. Next we can discuss about important types of reference groups like positive and negative reference groups. Positive reference groups are the one we want to be accepted by. Thus, if we want to be a film actor, we might be carefully observe and imitate the behavior of film actors. And in the negative reference group, these groups we do not be identified with. Try to avoid resembling members of particular group. So next we can discuss about the formal and informal group. Basically, these two types of social groups are on the basis of rules and regulations. So it is known as formal and informal. In the formal group, which are established by organization and have a public identity and goal to achieve. Or we can say like, it is a group that has well-defined rules and regulations for joining the group, staying in the group and leaving the group. Here, those who fulfill these rules and regulations can join and engage in the activities of the group. And also, the membership can be cancelled if the member violates the rules. The examples include organization, bank, hospital, educational institution, official associations, like that. So we can say formal group as a group that has well-defined rules and regulations for joining the group, staying in the group and leaving the group. And next is informal group. The informal group which emerge on the basis of common interest, proximity and friendship. Here, any person can join the group and participate in it and leave it whenever he wants. For example, people gather to see a joker in a public place, informal clubs and associations like that. So next we can discuss about treatment group and task group. This classification is based on purpose. Here, treatment groups signify groups whose major purpose is to meet the socio-economical needs of the group members. So, the purpose of this group is to meet socio-emotional needs of the group members. And such groups often aim at meeting the members' need for support, education, therapy, growth and socialization. And we can say like treatment group which include growth groups, for example, encounter groups for couples, value clarification groups for adolescents or educative group for community women, therapy groups, both psychotherapy group and supportive group for de-addiction, etc. So in treatment group, we can say it may be flexible yet structured and any rigidity will depend on the uniqueness of the group. And here the sharing of the self is expected and encouraged with trust being built and increased self-awareness. And in a task group which come into existence with the purpose of accomplishing a goal that is neither intrinsically nor immediately linked to the need of a group members but rather be broader consistency. And we can say in task group, focus is on discussion of a specific task and the roles are assigned often relating to ability or expertise. And here there should be a formal agenda and rules are used. So it's all about important classification of groups and making social group. So it's all about today's session. So we have discussed about definition on social group work, characteristics on social group work, functions and group structure, and finally classification of groups and making of social groups. So for the next session I would like to discuss you with principles, determinants of social group work, indicators and outcomes, decision making and problem solving process, theories of leadership and roles and responsibilities of group leaders. So I hope this session will be helpful for you for your preparation, and if you have any suggestion, please give me a comment. Please subscribe my channel if you have not yet subscribed. So keep learning. See you on next video. Bye.